What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name is Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. Any day where a hurricane isn't blowing Florida off the map is a good day. But Sunday is a day of rest for me. Sundays are usually days where people don't call me as much, so I try to get moving on stuff, within reason. I used to watch TV a lot. My mom, that was her thing, because she wasn't that mobile to go outside. So I haven't really watched TV in a minute. But my brothers have been visiting, and they're watching that show Indian Matchmaking on Netflix. And I actually watched that first season on Netflix last year when it came out with my mom. And if you guys don't know this, it's basically they follow this reality show about these Indians, and they try to match them up. And all these Indians are like super rich, right? Which most Indians are from good families. And so I didn't watch the second season because I was like, I'm not going to sit down and watch it. But my brother was watching it, so I sat down and watched a bit. And it's interesting for me to watch this because, as you know, I was on a reality show. I was on the Fox dancing dating show, and a lot of it's staged, a lot of it is scripted. I've talked about this, but they followed me to my jiu-jitsu class and stuff, and really all they showed of me was me meditating and talking about spirituality or something. So I was the artsy spiritual kid or something, and the other guy was a professional baseball player, the guy I was competing against. So it was the arts guy versus some dude on testosterone. Anyways, so I'm watching this Indian matchmaker thing, and it's intriguing to me on two fronts. One, I'm Indian, so to see these guys and girls go through this, there's almost I think for anybody, there's this fairy tale we're brainwashed to believe as kids that you have to get married before 30. I know for a fact, I've dated girls in my 20s, and that was a big deal. They had to get married before 30 and have kids by a certain timeline. There are these illusory timelines that we have programmed into our head that, you have to achieve so much by this amount. It just messes with you, and it makes people miserable. And I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, some people actually, get married before 30. They make it their intention, going so much as to get an arranged marriage, right? And then you're settling with somebody you're probably not gonna be happy with. Everyone's life is different. But when I watch the Indian matchmaking show on Netflix, and I really try hard not to judge, but that's impossible for me because that's how my brain works. I think I was watching with my brother, and I was like, does this guy have autism? And he was like, what? I just can't help it because the guy was so awkward. I feel like Indians don't spend a lot of time in the dating front, especially the guys who are successful. They work so hard, in their studies and, making money. They don't really date that much, nor do they have any self-awareness. Again, these are all just my theories. Likewise, Indian girls, I find, can be very manipulative. I mean, hey, all girls. Let's go there. Why not? And guys too. Let's throw them. Everyone's an asshole. But Indians especially, there's this song and dance which I sort of just took myself out of the race. I mean, I don't think I'm even eligible anymore. I think even guys have an expiration date if you're Indian. Girls, it's maybe after 30, but guys too, if you're after 40, you're what's wrong with you? Are you a serial killer? What's going on with you? I definitely feel there's a thing with age that really dictates where you are in life and how people perceive you. Anyway, so I'm watching this show with my brother, and the lady who's a matchmaker reminds me of one of my aunts in Boston. And I hate this lady. I literally hate this lady. And in fact, I blocked her on Facebook. She's so annoying. And that's how I see the host of this Netflix show. Man, in fact, I'll tell you this true story. Like a week after my mom died. Sorry, I keep mentioning my mom, but I guess I'm just grieving through this YouTube channel. So a week after my mom died, my mom's good friend calls me and she's like, "Hey, I got this girl from India. I have her photo. Can I send it to you?" And I was like, "What are you, nuts? Like, what on earth makes you think that I want to get married right now or even consider getting married?" That's like the last thing on my mind. But I guess she was like, "Oh, I better look out for, her son." And she was going to try to get me married. Like, what a ridiculous thing. I was imagining, can you imagine if I said yes? Like, "Hey, how are you?" She's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" "Great. My mom just died last week. Thought I'd get married." It makes no sense. But that's how these Indians think, right? They're always looking for opportunity. Now I used to tell people, I used to tell my mom, I was like, just tell them I'm gay. Tell them I'm on the other team, that I'm not into girls, and let's just go from there. But my mom used to just laugh at that because she knew I didn't give a fuck at this point in my life. I just want to drink my coffee and meditate and write jokes. It's pretty basic. Anyways, I keep getting sidetracked from this Indian matchmaking show. So even though I do make fun of them to some extent, I do have empathy because I've been there. I feel like not everyone, has game. Not everyone has awareness. And to see these people be thrown together and then, have the balls to be videotaped or, taped on camera and broadcast to the world, and knowing that guys like me are going to make fun of them. I mean, that takes balls. Although I will say, I think I'm friends with one of them on Facebook. I know a lot of Indians, and he was posting it on Facebook like he was like a TV star. He's like, "Hey guys, check me out. Kept this a big secret." I'm like, dude, you're on a matchmaking show, all right? It's not a big deal. So I don't know how this series ended. I only saw like 20 minutes of it while I was making my coffee, but I was like, man, it's still a bloody world out there. Like, no matter what happens in life, this is the one constant variable. Guys and girls looking to get married. They start scrambling at 30. People are settling. I mean, it'll be a great TV show. It's called Indian Divorce. How's that sound? Follow the same couples 10 years later and see how these couples turn out. Guarantee you at least one out of, these 5 are divorced. Miserable divorce too. And people are fighting over money. It's a blood battle over the house. And, Indian parents are freaking out. And then they got to change their last name because they don't want to be associated with divorce. I mean, I want to see that show. These are the thoughts that go on in my head. I do think, though, that this is a brilliant concept. I think people are intrigued by Indian marriages and the whole hoopla that goes on behind it. I mean, my parents were married, 51 years, and they had an arranged marriage. And I think a lot of people, their generation, did that. So getting set up through somebody else and saying, "You know what? I'm just going to have faith and see where this takes me." I think as my mom told me, she goes, marriage is you're in love and you fall out of love, but then arranged marriages, you're not in love and you find things to fall in love with. Probably paraphrasing things, but I see that. I mean, at the end of the day, you just want companionship, compatibility. Really, when you're old, you want someone to drive you to the fucking chemo center and hold your hair while you throw up. I mean, that's what it's for me now. It's like, God, is this person gonna, be there while I'm, shitting myself in the bed? I mean, Jesus Christ. And that's right, people. The train ride is coming. And I am your messenger of despair. Hope you guys are having a great week. No, seriously, have a great week. We'll talk soon.